I don't know in other parts of the world if it's like that. But there's something special here.
But Dubai is unusual. You're all amongst friends here and you all have a common goal to do well. When I went in for my aviation training, I was turned down saying I'm too short. I went to hotel school, I wanted to be a barman. They said, you can't work in a bar because you're too short. You'll barely reach the bar counter.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Nourished by Spinneys, our award-winning podcast where we bring you conversations to inspire you to eat well and live well. I'm Tiffany Eslick. We're continuing our micro-series called The Chef's Counter, which is an extension of our in-store initiative that has been designed to promote the chefs and food entrepreneurs of the UAE. At a time when many independent food concepts have been facing real pressure, we wanted to use our Spinneys platforms to offer meaningful support to allow the chefs in the UAE to share their stories and their products with our customers in an accessible and tangible way. We're now in week 6 of this exciting initiative, and I'm sitting down with Chef Vineet Bhatia, who's behind many award-winning restaurants internationally, and he has 3 concepts in the UAE.
We started off with Indego way back in 2005 at Governor House. And I still remember coming to Dubai in 2004 to have a look at the restaurant, and I wasn't sure. Middle of a desert, there's no JLT, there was no JBR, there was no palm. And they showed me a plot of land and just a few concrete blocks and said, this is going to be the hotel. And I said, but where is everything else? There was nothing.
Wow.
But there was a vision. And that vision stands till today. So 21 years, we're still here with Indego. And that's a big statement for Dubai and for us to be around for that long. Because restaurants don't last for long. You know, the mortality rate is very high. To be with them or to be in the restaurant for 21 years is phenomenal. And we have a second one, which is Indya at the JBR at the Royal Meridian. That is more casual, chic, street food style, more relaxed, more family oriented, more fun, easy on the pocket. And that does extremely well too. And they're both not very far from each other. They're literally 1.5 kilometers.
Okay.
It's the sister properties. So the same management team, but very different audience. And really works well. And we just launched Naan Co at the Emirates head office.
Lucky Emirates. Yeah.
So that is a very special one because we wanted to create something very unusual. Although it is a concept which we are going to roll out within Dubai, but we wanted to start off with Emirates itself. We have a captive audience of 10,000 people who work in the building on a daily basis. And so we want to look after them. The whole idea is about serving naans in different modes. So naan is not just a side dish or accompaniment, but it's a star in the restaurant, hence Naan Co. So you have naan as a base for a pizza, you have naan as a base for a sandwich, or you have folded naans. You have desserts filled up with chocolate and hazelnuts into a naan, for example. Although I say it is only for Emirates employees in the building, it's not. It's also open for public.
Okay,
So
great.
you can park in, you can get in there, you can use a metro, come down to the head office, and you can enjoy a meal. So yeah, I think 3 projects are very important for us. And now with the spices.
I know, I was going to say, and I mean, you also have your entire global, all those brands.
Yes.
And now you've got this exciting spice range, which is at Spinneys.
Exclusively at Spinneys.
Oh, yes.
If I may say so.
Yes, you may. When did you launch this and how did you find the time and why?
This spices in your UAE at Spinneys got launched in the first week of April. Although we launched it in UK a 1.5 years back, it took us almost 2 years to get the spice blends right. We have 5 spice blends. We have the butter chicken, we have the coastal curry, we have the creamy korma, we have the rogan josh, and we have the fiery madras. So it's for all different palates. Now these spices are 100% organic, they're gluten-free. Most of them are lactose-free also, 0 preservatives. And they have a good shelf life for a good 1.5 years. And the beauty is that whatever we actually cook in a restaurant, the recipes we use in our restaurants are then extracted and powdered up into a form which goes into a sachet of 50 grams, which feeds a family of 4 comfortably. You can add any kind of protein or vegetables you want to add. Although it says a butter chicken sauce, there is no chicken in it, but it's just the tomato has been into a powder form. All your kasuri methi, all your spices, all your cumin, all your garam masalas, the turmeric, everything is intact in that. So from the home point of view, when you're cooking, it's like an instant coffee. You add some hot water, your sauce is almost ready. So the same thing, in the 50-gram sachet, you probably add 100 ml of water, stir it together, saute some onions, a little garlic, add a bit of tomato pilate or a pulp, bring it to a boil, add in your protein, add in the spice mix in the water, and voila, in 8 to 10 minutes, your sauce is ready to go.
That's amazing. So you're getting like restaurant quality
Yes.
flavor and mixes in a really convenient pack. And it's so easy because, when you do try to set up and make a curry, like a proper one at home, suddenly I'll realize like, oh my gosh, I don't have any more turmeric,
Yes.
and then you're like, oh, so to have everything in one is great. And from a chef like you. So
It does take time to get the components together right. So when you're actually cooking at home, although we have recipe books, we actually detail them. We do shows on television and all the stuff. And we have online classes where we explain what we do and how we do. And it is a long process. It's a labor of love. The results are phenomenal. That's exactly what we bought here into the sachet for our guests to try at home.
Amazing.
So the recipes were tried and tested by myself first at home. Then we went into a factory unit and we created the spices there. And we were very particular of what goes into the blend. I wanted it to be 100% organic. I didn't want any preservatives to go in them. I wanted it to be as clean as possible. Hence, the production is actually done not in India, but actually in Newcastle in the UK.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because that was the only unit I could actually identify and source, which was giving me a consistent quality after 10 checks. I was still getting the same blends given to me. No adulteration, no mixing, no variations, nothing. Actually spot on.
Amazing.
So it took us an year and a half to get the spice blend done. And then we did our batch testing with normal consumers to see feedback. And we were quite taken aback. So it did go online into UK and hit #1. And that really shocked us. And then the US market opened up. They wanted us to go in there. And Spanish has always been very close to my heart. I don't know if you remember, but we did the very first online Zoom cooking when COVID hit.
I do remember that. Yes, yeah.
We did chicken coconut curry.
Yeah.
And you guys were so helpful. You made the entire kit with all the ingredients and the aprons. We sent the recipes to you. The whole thing was printed out. It was shipped out to, I think, 100 families.
Yeah, yeah.
And
more maybe.
maybe more. And we didn't know what to expect. And I remember the Zoom session was on for almost an hour or so.
Yeah.
And it went so well. And the feedback was the uptake was so good on that. People still ask me for all the stuff. And now I say, go to Spanish and buy it.
Yeah.
It is the same recipe. It is the same blend. What you guys cooked on that show there. So,
yeah, that was with Helen Farmer. I remember that.
Helen Farmer, she was there. And it did well. So that has been, so we also realized there's a lot of stuff you can do for a larger audience. Although we do find hotels and restaurants and casual restaurants also. But there's a huge market for people who really can't leave home. So they have families there, they're coming from work and they don't want to go out. And not everybody wants to spend on a daily basis. So, you spend 25, 30, 35 dirhams or whatever, buy your stuff, and you make something for home for a family of 4. It is value for money.
Absolutely.
It's great value.
It's almost like we've been together and partners in crisis, if you think COVID and now the recent situation and we're partnering again.
No, so. Thank God, a crisis and not in crime.
Yeah, exactly.
It works.
Yeah. And so for the chef's counter, you've created 2 dishes using your spice mixes. So we've got the coastal coconut mix and the fiery madras. Let's start with the coastal coconut. What goes into that? And what have you chosen to put it with for our counter?
Both the dishes are inspired by South India. Because I have a huge love for South India and respect for the food. It's much lighter. It's a lot leaner. It's a lot cleaner. It's very aromatic. And it has got very distinct flavors come through. Coconut does form a strong base. And if you look at the health aspects now that people have, they're very careful of what they want to eat. So the first one in the coconut curry is basically like a moili sauce, which you have from Kerala. It's a very simple dish of coconut milk, which is tempered with some mustard seeds, some curry leaves, a bit of ginger, a bit of green chili, not much, just a little hint, and lots of coconut milk and turmeric powder. Now, if you look at the spices, turmeric is a great antiseptic. It heals your body. As you eat it, when the stomach, it lines your stomach, it heals your body. And coconut milk is very healthy for you. So we use that to make a sauce. Now, although we are serving this with fish, there's nothing stopping you from using tofu, for using tempeh, from using any kind of a protein you want, using a piece of fish or prawns or chicken. It's endless. Vegetables, cauliflower, beans, carrots, you do name it, broccoli. Just add it into the sauce, bring it together to a boil, and it's light. The sauce is not very heavy. The curry is quite light to eat, so it's not full of masalas as such. It's a very clean way of eating it. You can either have it with a plain steamed rice or even a piece of bread or naan. It works. For me, if I'm packaged at home and I have a bowl of a prawn moili or a fish moili or a veg moili lying at home, I'll have it with a brown toast, for example. I love to dunk in my toast
Yeah.
into the sauce, soaks in all the lovely flavors, and you have that.
Yum. Yeah.
So it replaces the naan, for example. The sauce can be used for many, many things here. So if you're coming to pick up from our chef's counter here, you can have it with rice, you can pick up a piece of bread and perfectly okay, or take it home and, make a plain spaghetti and toss it in that.
Yeah,
You get an Indian style spaghetti. It works extremely well.
Our digital marketing manager actually makes a delicious sort of spicy prawn spaghetti. So yeah, great idea.
I mean, when the kids were growing up back in London, I remember we used to cook at home, and me being an Indian will always add some kind of a spice.
Yeah.
So our penne would have a butter chicken in there, for example.
Yum. Yeah.
Have a little tempering of some spices and flavors. But we're so used to having spice because spices for us come very naturally. It's in our DNA. Not that I can't cook European food, but spices lifts it up a little more.
No,
it makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not overly spiced. So you're not burning with chili in your palate, or you don't have too many masalas in your palate that for the next day you only smell of a curry. It's very gentle.
Yeah.
It's very, very subtle in a way. So you eat it, you still feel fresh, and you're not feeling heavy.
And actually, I agree with you on that last point, because even your fiery madras, I mean, I love that name and I love spice, so that appeals to me. But even that, it's not overpowering, like when we were doing the tastings, yes. I could taste all the different spices. So with that one, we're doing it with chicken, right?
That's the one with chicken.
Okay. And so how are you getting that really great balance of flavors without it being too hot?
It is a blend of spices. See, spices are put into three forms when you cook. The first stage is whole spices you add into oil. And when you add oil or butter or fat or whatever you have, you slightly warm it up. Most people make the mistake of adding spice into cold oil. Doesn't work. It needs to go into the warm oil. And as you add into the warm oil, the spices begin to pop open and crackle. So you hear a sound. And as soon as they pop open and crackle, the natural oils and the enzymes in the spices are being released. That is the first stage of actually adding flavor into the dish. So you're flavoring the oil to begin with, or the fat or whatever. So it lightly starts flavoring the oil. If you cook it for too long, they burn. So you have to put something into the oil to prevent it from continue cooking or heating. So you add something with moisture. Now you can't add water. It will not mix. It'll splutter everywhere. So what do? You add garlic. You add onion. You add tomatoes. Those have high moisture content. As soon as those vegetables hit the spice mix with the oil, the temperature falls down. The spice does not burn. But the flavor carries on. At the same time, the vegetables start releasing their flavors into the sauce, and the sauce formation starts. So that is the base. Then comes the second stage where you add in the spice powders. And believe me, there are only 4 powders. There's turmeric, there's red chili, there's cumin, and coriander.
Wow. Okay.
It's just the magic of these 4 spices which actually creates the character or the soul of the dish. So you want to do a coconut curry, for example, which we have here on the store, you only add turmeric. It gives it a wonderful sunny yellow hue or a shade to the dish. If you want a Rogan Josh, which is much richer and darker, you would add more cumin and coriander. Or you would add some red chili. If you want them to really spicy and kick, you would add some red chili into it. So these are the flavors you added with your onion and tomatoes, and you mix it together, which forms the soul of the dish or the character of the dish. And then you add your protein and you cook it through. And lastly, what you add is your garam masala powder.
Okay.
That is the key.
Yeah.
You never put garam masala to begin or halfway through.
I have been doing that.
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
A garam masala is a roasted spice which has been powdered and kept into a sealed container. It's a perfume. It's an aromatic. It's like you going in for an event or coming to work, and you spray yourself with perfume and go into a shower. It's not going to work. You finish your makeup, you get all ready to go out, and lastly, you put in your perfume and you're out of the house. Exactly, garam masala does that.
Okay.
It does have flavor. Don't get me wrong. It does have flavor, but it does not need to cook for 20 minutes or to an hour. It needs very bare minimum finishing at the last. You finish your dish, you add your garam masala powder, stir it through, get the aromas coming through.
Yeah.
Flavors are already going to be there. You put a seal, a lid on top to your family.
Wow.
It's
okay.
done.
I feel like mesmerized by all that you've said about spices now. And that is such a great tip. So
that is exactly what we do with our dishes here. And that is why we say mix it up with some water and add it at the last.
Okay.
And finish the dish off.
Yeah.
So all that work which I've explained to you now, which can take you 30 minutes to make a dish, is done in less than 10 minutes.
Fantastic.
In your own home.
And is the Madras mix as versatile as the
Yes.
coastal coconut? Okay, so
Yeah.
anything, any protein.
So
any
we have
fish.
kept it at 2 different spice levels. The moili is quite subtle and mild. If you want to make it spicier, you can add some green chilies or jalapenos in them. That's your choice. Nothing is stopping you making it your own.
Yeah.
The spice powders are here to help you cook.
Yeah.
And get a good product. If you want to make it spicier, add any protein you want, any kind of chili you want, it works. The fiery madras is spicier. It's got more spice powders in it. It's got a lot of cumin, coriander, red chili, turmeric. It's got fennel. It's got cumin. And it's also got more chili in them. So there is a sense of the fieriness comes through. Now, you can add prawns in them. You can add lamb. You can add chicken. You can add any red meat. You want to add a protein. If you're a vegetarian, you add vegetables, add potatoes, cauliflower, broccoli, anything. It is what you have in your fridge here and what your family likes to eat.
Yeah.
So that's why the spice mixes are extremely versatile. And it's not just to make an Indian meal. You could use that spice also to do a barbecue rub.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you take the spice mix, you can add it with some oil, rub it together, and you baste your steaks. You baste your poultry. You baste your vegetables in the oven, your potatoes, whatever you want. They could be used for that. You're making a pasta sauce and you want to have a little bit of kick in it. I wouldn't say add the entire 50 grams. You can probably add in 10 grams, mix it up, and there you have a beautiful pasta. You're making a risotto. You add the spice powder mix at the very last when the risotto is almost done. It changes. And rice is one kind of a medium which absorbs so much of flavor when you cook.
Yeah, it's great.
It is beautiful. It's like milk. It just absorbs very beautifully. Makes the entire dish very nice, smooth. All you do into a risotto is finally add a little knob of butter and the fat sticks to your mouth.
Oh my God, you're making me so hungry.
And the flavors really, it gets moreish.
Yeah.
It's peckish. And that is what good food does.
Yeah.
It makes you want to eat the next bite.
Yeah.
It makes you feel hungry. I mean, even talking to you now, I feel like eating.
Yes.
Because I can taste the food. Literally.
Yeah.
And I think that's the great beauty of these powders here.
Okay, great. I just want to go and get some and get cooking right now. Where did your love for food come from? I mean, the way you talk about it, I know you've been doing this for tens of, many decades, but
40 years.
40 years. Wow. Like, where did this come from? Like, and how have you sustained this passion? Because the way you're talking about it is so infectious. I just want to sit and talk all day to you about ingredients and food.
With food, I can talk all day long. I don't get bored. I love to mentor. I love to teach. I love to showcase food. And not just Indian food. We do food around the world. As an ambassador for the great campaign for the UK government, I showcase UK food around the world. Literally. And it's not just Indian food. Indian food is now part of UK food anyway. The national dish is chicken tikka masala, for God's sake. It works so well. I began my career way back in 85 and I never wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a pilot.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
As a kid growing up in Mumbai near the airport, I was in love with aircrafts. I loved engines. I loved the aviations. When I went in for my aviation training, I was turned down saying I'm too short.
Oh.
I can't become an aviator. I can't be a pilot. So I went to hotel school. I went to hotel school. I wanted to be a barman. I wanted to make drinks. I wanted to do the colors and all the stuff. I loved that. So I went for my training in the hotel. They said, you can't work in a bar because you're too short. You'd barely reach the bar counter.
Oh my gosh.
And the only place where you can work in a hotel is where nobody sees you. And that's the kitchen. 1985.
Wow.
And that is how I went in the kitchen. And I thought I'll go in the kitchen. I'll do maybe a week, 10 days. I'll wriggle my way out, go into the banquets or a coffee shop, into service side, because I had no interest in kitchen. I walked into the kitchen and I was shocked. I was amazed to see the discipline, the way it was being conducted, the way it was being run. You get there in the morning at 7 and, coming from a background of highly skilled professionals from defense and from lawyers and judges. So you train as a kid to be very punctual and to be very particular. So always be in time, if not before, get there. 7 o'clock duty would start. At 6:30, I would be in the kitchen. First guy, waiting for us to come in. It's a habit.
Yeah.
You get in there and first thing to do is they check your nails. They check your uniform. They check your haircut. They check your shave. They check your everything and say, if you're dressed up fine, you can go in the kitchen. Otherwise, out. Freshen up and come back or go home. And I love that. And I love the way they were so disciplined in their approach of setting things up, very compartmentalized, doing it beautifully. And I just fell in love with food.
No.
That's when I said, I want to learn to cook.
Wow.
So although I still love aviation, and I've been very blessed because I did work for British Airways on a Concorde, and now I'm doing Emirates. So I get the best seats in the aircraft most of the time.
Amazing.
And I married a pilot's daughter.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah.
I still get best of both the worlds. And
Yeah.
food is a passion for me.
Yeah.
And food has become such that I didn't grow up eating to look at eating at food as such or enjoying food as such. Food for me was just fuel to run and play. It was not about being a gourmet. So I did not sit in my grandmother's or my mom's knees and started peeling potatoes or pods of peas and stuff like those. Nothing of those dramatic Bollywood stuff. It was literally in the hard end of a rough kitchen to learn.
Okay.
And I would spend 3 months without days off. I would do 18 hours non-stop. I wanted to learn. I was just hungry for knowledge. I wanted to gain knowledge. It was just a greed to learn as much as I can. And I was 17 when I began. So all my batchmates on off days, they used to go around with their families or whatever. I didn't. I used to go back to work for free. So that has become so much part of your DNA that that's all you do. And even now, after 40 years, if you ask me what do I enjoy doing at home, it's cooking.
That's great.
For the family.
Oh, wow.
It is a joy. It's an absolute joy to cook for people you love.
Yeah. True. That's so true. And you can just feel it from the way that you speak. This is great. Yeah.
No, food for me, it breaks down boundaries. And we were very honored to have got the MBE in King Charles' first list. And as a chef, you feel quite proud. But I wasn't given the award for culinary predominantly. I was given for trade negotiations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was the first thing which was there in my MBE, this trade deals, and then came hospitality and culture and then cuisine.
Okay.
So I was promoting British Indian culture around the world. We would be accompanying the Prime Minister to do trade deals at the back end to support them and to showcase the best of UK around the world, right from Latin America to Middle East, to Europe, to Mauritius, to India. We will be doing those seminars for them, back end work for them. So, all this stuff has been phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, it just shows that food is the ultimate connector and on so many different levels, that's fantastic. I honestly could talk to you for hours. So we need to set up a cooking session, please, that we can do that. But thank you so much. And I'm so excited to have you as part of our Chef's Counter program.
Yes.
I think your curries are going to do so well and your spice mixes are great. So thanks.
No, thank you. Thank you. And best of luck with the chef's counters because I think it's a great idea. It's a great way to showcase the people in Dubai, what we have locally here. And the homegrown chefs are just phenomenal.
It really has grown and it's such a nice tight-knit community. Which I don't know in other parts of the world if it's like that. But there's something special here.
But Dubai is unusual. It's not like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I can be very honest here. The camaraderie you have here is very different from what you had back in the UK or back in India. It is much easier here. So you're all amongst friends here and you all have a common goal to do well. And that reflects not just on yourself but also on the consumer who comes to your restaurants. They have the choice to go wherever they want and they have plenty of choice in Dubai.
Yeah, that's so true. Thanks, Vineet. It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
This episode was brought to you by Spinneys. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for more. And don't forget to look out for Chef Vineet Bhatia's delicious curries at the Chef's Counter at select Spinneys stores. We'll be back after the Eid break with new dishes and a new episode.